A lot of drive, fighting really hard. Be a different dog.
Battery.
Oh no, the thing that just came up.
Yeah, so the best thing to do is be very patient.
Did you like write it?
Keep working on spray biting with a slurp hole like this. That is hard, so you can't just eat it. When you finish just eating, bring them back.
We were looking at that stupid board. That's all that is where you're at. Oh.
You don't want to do too much because the dog is not showing you. He wants to work.
Oh, I don't think that other one is. What are you shooting at?
The best thing to do is to feed that biting hard and you really have to have a good understanding of your full bite.
If you actually say you're trying to get your ring in.
My level now.
So you can be creating that technique. The best thing to do is to let me develop this bite. And after we develop this bite,
There you go.
Turn the TV on. Put on the Cartoon Network. No, the Animal Planet.
Most funniest animals.
Hey, Mom, bring me a Coke. Hey, Mom, I'm hungry. Let me have some Bill Jack. Put a little neutral in there, Mom.
You're doing just like an alligator trying to go for something.
Is this the first for you?
Nah.
Hey, buddy. That's your son.
That's a future ring 3. Okay, come on. Put him up, give him some water, some neutral. Ready? You ready? Hey, T-Rex. Voila. Voila. Attention on the line, please. Let him in. Hey, T-Rex. Attack. Voila. Let him in. Hey. Break carry, please. Break carry around behind.
Okay.
Come on, move. Break carry behind you. Come back. Break carry. Go. Take off. Don't stop. Don't wait for the dog. Take him with you. Don't let him drag so far. He's going to wrap himself around you. Grab the dog, pull on the line. Bring him out on the outside of it. On a circle. Spin a Gus, spin. Voila. Attack T-Rex. Voila. That's a great there. Okay? Right back to the decoy. Voila. Hasta así. We're going to do a clean attack, all right? I'm going to go that way. So when I tell you send it, myself or just carrying the line?
Okay.
No, you let him drag into it, and then you give tension. Attack, 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 attack. Tension. Back up, back up. You see in the other sack. send him. Pull tension. Stop. Stop. No. Here's what you're doing with the dog.
He's supposed to, right when the dog gets the sack, he's supposed to put tension on it.
T-Rex, attack. At the last second, you let him in, and then you tension here. You don't keep running. Okay. You stop, and you fork your dog. Whenever you work the dog, you always keep the dog between you and the decoy. You don't run to the sides and leave the dog over there. You always keep the decoy, the dog between you and the decoy. He stays in the middle and you're always behind him. You're never to the sides or out running. Here. Stop. Over there, Gus. To the side of him again. Let him in. Pull back. Let him in. Hey, T-Rex. Tension. Okay, that's it. Put him on. Come on. He's teething too. His mouth is real soft right now. Hey. Hey, Mario. Let her in? Okay, pull back hard. Let her in. Okay, pull back hard. Let her in. Hey, Mario, we got it, baby.
Coming, right?
Yeah. And the big reward, the big fight.
How do you make it so this thing is
Okay,
not
take
like
it for a picture.
moving because it kept on falling
Take
back?
off.
Yeah, it still falls back. See?
Beautiful.
Oh, that's, yes.
Oh.
Get agua.
She's getting stronger and big. Yeah, that's quite good. Just stand on the baton. Pull back.
That's good.
Let her in. Hey, Mario. Pull back. Let her in. Pull back. Always keep the tension, not after. Let her in. Hey, little back. Take care of you. Go. Good job. Very nice handling. Very nice handling. Beautiful job. Now she's fighting so good she don't want to outfight. Not a baby. Okay, don't let her bite it. Just lift her up so loud or whatever. Hey. Okay, now we're going to start a clean attack. I'm going to give her the same deal like this, and I'm going to take off running. When I tell you send her. In the last 2 meters, let her in. Then as soon as she bites, you stop and give tension. It's very important to give the tension, okay? We want her to bite hard. Attack, Mayo. Way. Attack, baby. Hey, baby. Attack. Attack. Okay, send her. Attack. Tell her to attack. Hey, Mayo. Stop right there. Tension. Good attack. Good bite. Nice bite. Very nice. Over the baton, let her stand on the baton. Let her in. Okay. Pull. Let her in. Pull. Let her in.
Looks good.
Hey, Mayo, full bite, way to go. Free carry.
Good girl.
A big one. Take her off the field with it in her mouth. Yeah.
Good girl. Really good girl. Come on, let's go.
Get her legs caught.
Good girl.
Atención. Ah, voilà.
Okay, put her on the cage. Put her on there. This is her third time biting? Yeah. Attack, cool. You're letting it in and out too far. The dog should never start off 10 feet away from the dog. You're like let her be, her tail has to be like a foot away from your foot. Leave it there. Just leave her there. Okay. That way she can work. Before she can work real far, she needs to learn how to work real quick. Okay. Hey, voila, barracuda. Strong bite. He's not used to having the collar. Having the line. Gotta get used to the line. Never been on the leash before. Don't leave your hand go forward. Go keep it next to your thigh, your chest, to your waist. Enter in. Way. Enter in, Joe. Way. Pray carry. Go, buddy. Beautiful hand. Way to go. That's great. Our pray carries are getting better. Go like that. Bring it forward.
Atención.
We're doing a fleeing attack, okay? Do a fleeing attack. She's teething big time. Guys, say flee. You want me to run there? Yeah. Okay, ready? Go. Attack. Stop. Okay, break carry. Take her off the field, Joe.
Good handling, Joe.
Where'd you go, buddy? Hey, Callie. Let her step on top of the baton. Good carry. Good carry. Good handle. Good handle. Great carry. for me. Nice hard bite. Let her in. Hey, good girl. Tension, 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 tension. Yeah, let her in. Good, cool. Right there. You can go this way too. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Very nice. Good dog, good dog. Strong dog. Great job. Clean it. Send it, send it. Don't let her go, Chef. Pick her up. Okay. Don't let her go. Still up. Right there. Okay, the clean attack, we're going to do it again, but you're going to be letting her grab. So, okay. Okay. Attack, 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 attack. Exhale. Attack. Hey! Wait, hey. Right there, all the way up the street. Next. Next patient.
C'est bien, attaque. Voilà, attaque.
Veteran.
C'est bien, voilà, attaque. Bon attaque. Bon
Great
attaque.
carry. Great carry.
Bon.
That is a good carry.
Attention. Attention. Attaque, attaque. Attaque. C'est bien. Attaque.
Great job. Let her in and let her back. Okay, cool.
Voilà, attaque. C'est bien, attaque. Voilà, attaque. Bon attaque.
Let her in.
C'est bien.
Yeah, let her in.
Bon attaque.
Great carry. A big great carry.
Bon. Attention. Attaque. Attaque.
Clean attack. Focus. Stop.
Bon attaque.
Eye on the thing. Get my channeling vest on.
It's already. I'm.
See how tilted that is?
It's alright.
I should push him under there.
No, it doesn't matter.
She's just been digging dirt. Dirt. Of course. This is digging.
Sleeping.
Yeah. And digging.
Okay, beautiful. Let me think. Okay, over here. Be next.
Oh, you want me?
Okay, the most important thing when you start is making sure that the dog is comfortable on the table. This puppy's been on the table before. You can tell all she wants to do is eat hot dogs, a handful of hot dogs. Okay? Eventually, if the dog, well, first of all, if the dog is not comfortable, I don't have my tug. Can somebody give me a sack and a tug, the small tug? Hold the dog. Okay, ready? Okay, if the dog feels a little bit uncomfortable, she's not uncomfortable, her tail's up, she's very happy to be here. She already sees the table as the dinner table. She knows she's going to get fed every time she comes up here, so she loves being up here. But at the beginning, a lot of dogs are apprehensive about being on top of the table, so what do? You get them comfortable being on the table, you bring a motivator out, you get them to bite it. Right now, she understands what motivator, that's the food. Mayo. See, this puppy prefers food over biting. Not a problem. We'll use this technique with a different dog. Not a problem. But the main thing is to make sure the dog's comfortable and that the dog wants to work. She's there, so we're going to start working on the technique. The first technique is sitting. You use the hand. You push back. She sits. You feed. After she does the exercise, she sits. Then the hand, you pull in. And down. You push it. You put it right at the edge of the table. You hold with this hand. Lay her down. And then you feed when she does it. Good down. Good down. Sit. Good sit. Stand. You pull in towards you. Good stand. Good stand. Très bien. Très bien. Okay, I'm talking in English. We're training her in French. Sorry about that. Assis. Voilà, assis. Debout. Très bien, debout. Couché. You hold with this hand and you lay her down with this one. And then you feed. Very good. Voila. You bring the dog down. Hey, mama. C'est bon. Voila. Attack, attack. Okay. I was attempting to give her a reward for doing the exercise very nicely.
Okay.
Not a problem. We'll work on that later. Okay, Mom. Thank you very much. Now, very important in this technique, never, beginning, you do more than 2 sets. Very, very, very important. A lot of people like to do this very extended and very prolonged, and it's bad. It's a bad technique. Only 2 sets. Sit, stand, down, sit. That's 1 set. Sit, stand, down. That's 2 sets. Then you motivate. You reward right away. It's not how long you do this. It's how often and how well the technique is. Okay? Kaya.
Hey.
Here we have Mr. John Doughton with Kaya. John is a very good handler who knows how to do this very well.
I see. Bon, I see. Bon, I see. I see. Bon, I see. Bon, I see. Taboo. Bon, taboo. Couche.
Make her do it.
What's that?
As soon as once you give her the command, make sure that she does it.
Good shit.
Yeah, hold it. You put it down.
Boom. Good shit. Boom. Good shit.
From one exercise to the other. Another good technique is don't let her eat too much. One piece is enough. Okay?
I see.
And from the sit to the stand to the down. Right away. You don't wait and prolong this.
Boom. I see.
You're giving the dog too many chances to make a mistake.
I see.
There you go. And only feed when the dog does the exercise.
Boom. Da boo.
Voila.
Good shit. Boom. Good shit.
As soon as the whole body goes down, it's when you feed.
Good shit.
Where the dog says, hey, when I do the down, is when I get fed. That's it. 2 sets, very short. Bring her to the ground and motivate with the bite. This is her reward for doing a good job. John is doing a good job getting her on the bite. Big fight, John. Big fight. Tell her, good job. Très bien, très bien. Voila. Here you go, John.
Oh, yeah. Say bien. What the?
So what's happening here is the dog's getting imprinted on the changes, and it's very short and brief, and immediately after the exercise is over, she knows she's being rewarded during the exercise, and right after the exercise she's going to get another reward, a big fight with the bite. Okay? So you got 2 motivators. You're motivating her to sit, to stand, and to down while you're feeding her, and then after everything is done, you're giving her more motivation. I'm going to give you a bite with a big fight, which is more fun for this dog. This dog prefers to have a good bite with a big fight, okay, than to be eating hot dogs. Even though she did a real good job eating hot dogs there. And not so good doing the fight.
Okay. She's breakfast. That's why she's so hungry. I skipped breakfast, so she would be hungry for that.
Okay. Come on, Shell. Show us how it's done. Let her motivate the dog, pump her up, help her down so she won't break her legs. It's too small. Yeah, the girl. Caddy attack, voila! Okay, what happens is, guys, if you do not do the motivation right after the exercises, your dog is used to working without drive, without motivation. So what happens is, a lot of handlers, they forget the importance of motivating the dog after the exercise. The imprinting has to be done with motivation. The dog gets lethargic and works without any motivation. She's doing it because she has to. Okay? If this dog, every time the handler's consistent, every time that she comes off the table, she's going to remember she's going to be getting a bite. So she's going to be doing it quicker and better to get to that bite. She wants to get to the bite. Okay? So the dog's going to be doing it quicker, where she's going to have to work at a better level of performance. When you bring it to the ground, you give her that motivational bite every time. Okay? The time that you don't do it, she's going to say, hey, where's my motivational bite? You're cheating me. I'm working for you on the table and you're not giving me my reward.
Does that apply also on just regular obedience?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Your dog is expecting that reward when she works for you. That is the system that you're putting into the dog's mind.
Even if it wasn't French ring, I'm saying?
Yeah, any type of good training. The principle applies. That's why when the dog came off the table, there was no real, like, high drive to bite. Okay, when you're consistent, the dog knows what's next, and she's like this, waiting for that tug to come out of the back of the thing, out of the vest. And when you show it to her, boom, she's gonna jump off the table, grabbing it, beyond it, biting. That's what you're working for. Okay, when you get there, you know you're training. You know you're training at a high level. Everything that you do here, okay, you can train. When you're training dogs, you can do things nonchalant. You can do things so good, so bad, so. Or you can do things with technique at a high level. When you get to that level of training, then you're training. Then your dog's gonna get better, and there's no ceiling. But if you accustom your dog in the imprinting to work lethargically with no technique, what happens is you're limiting yourself. And it's gonna show. It's gonna show. But if you teach your dog to work at a high clip of performance with good handling technique, you have to be a good handler, guys. It takes a lot of devotion, a lot of dedication, and a lot of initiative to become a good handler. And that's what's required if you want to get ahead. This is a very difficult sport. If you put in the time and the effort, you'll benefit. Come on, Sherry. Now this is my best handler in the club. Sherry, with one of my favorite dogs, Jagger. You need a hand? He looks like he's Come on, Jack. Atta baby. Wow, he's growing a lot. When we first started working Jagger on this table, he was like this. I would say the size of his left two paws.
I see. Couche.
Excellent.
Taboo. I see. Couche.
Good.
Taboo.
Jagger, attack. Attack. Oh. Fight. Big reward, big fight on the tag. Let go of the leash. Let go of the leash and work the sack. Let go of the leash. Work the sack. Lift the sack up. Watch your hands there. Fight. Move left and right. Pump your dog up with your hands on the back and the shoulder blades. Fight. There you go. See, the dog is motivated. The next time the dog comes off the table, when he sees that sack coming out, he's going to be hitting it because this is what he lives for. Okay? A good working dog, best motivator is his bite. You use the dog's bite to get him to do anything for you. If you make him understand, hey, after you work for me, I'm going to give you a reward. I'm going to give you a nice fight with a nice big bite. Okay. Very simple. We begin the changes of position on the table. Okay? Because it's very comfortable for the handler. You can work and manipulate the dog very well. You know, it's a little dog. He has very little room to wander. Makes his feet stay stationary. It's a good place to start. A lot of people start on top of a crate, start on top of a box. It doesn't matter. I've seen people, I got friends that train with a small table. They have less room to move around in, but I feel any table will be good at the end of the table. After this, when the dog is doing the changes consistently, is when you come off the table. Okay, after the dog is doing the changes consistently, is when you stop using the table. The very next step, you're not going to get past this before the dog is 4.5 months old. So I'm really not going to get into how to take it to the next step or what to do next. But you're going to be here through teething. Okay, after the dog is teething, then you bring the dog to the ground. And that's for another day. Okay, let's work on send-aways. Ahí va.
Yeah.
Hold the dog. Okay. And the send away. The main thing is use a motivator. Use a ball. You can use a tug. This dog, you can use a tug. Ball. Motivate the dog like skyward. Okay? Voila. Attack, attack. Voila. Aniba. What are you doing, Ray? I say you want me to talk. Alright. What did we just practice? Okay. Then we'll let it go, right? Put it on reverse. The same thing with then let him go, right? Voila. Aniba. 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 Okay, Aniba. Wait until I come back, bro. What did we just practice? Ready? Aniba. Run with him. Run with him. Good handling. Big fight. Big fight. Big fight. There you go. Alright, let's do it Pepe! Done! Pepe! Okay. We've done this with your other dogs. You did it carry with your dog. You've done this with your other dogs. Okay. I'll handle your dog.
I'm not searching for it.
Aniba. You can use search for it but what we're doing is we're showing the dog. Come over here so that we can pick up what we're talking about. Okay, with the send away, the main thing is to use a motivator. And you always start off short, close to the fence. And you always take the motivator and put it at the end of the fence, at the end of the field. Okay, so this dog learns that whenever he's at the field, anywhere in the field, he has to run all the way to the end of the field. Okay, so that when, if you put the ball in the middle of the field, your dog doesn't know how far he has to run on a send away. But if you always start off close to the fence and work your way back, the dog understands when you send him that he must run to the end of the field. Always to the fence. That way, he'll keep running until you recover later on in the training. That's the main thing that you have in the back of your mind when you're working this exercise. You always work up against the fence real close. You make him do it close to the fence. The better that he gets there, the further back you bring him the next time out. A couple months later, you're doing it the length of the field. But you must be really good close to the fence first. You have to graduate as it gets better. Okay, now we're using the ball or the tug as a motivator. You're going to put it at the end of the, right next to the fence. You got the ball, Rick? You get it back to me?
I got the ball. You have the
Tennis.
tug.
You got my tennis ball?
You got the tug.
Right. But,
No.
okay, we're going to put the ball or the tug, whichever one your dog is strongest with. There's some dogs that have stronger drive for to the tug than they do for the tennis ball. Some dogs have higher drive for the tennis ball. Whichever motivates him best is the one you want to use in this exercise. Okay? You're going to put it down at the end of the fence. You're going to let him know first, in front of him. You're going to build his drive for this first. Goal number one. Get him excited about going after that ball. Goal number one. Number two, you're doing it really close. You're putting it next to the fence. Then you come back and you send your dog. If your dog at the beginning doesn't understand to go, you run with him, okay, and you guide him. When he picks it up, you give him the recall whistle. Okay, when you start doing this exercise, your dog already has a recall whistle. We're going to cover that in a few minutes. How to imprint at 8 weeks the recall. This exercise is done from 3.5 months to 4 months is when it started. You go ahead and motivate. We'll demonstrate how this is done. You start off like if it was bite work. Motivate your dog. Okay, back up. Back up. Big fight. Lift up. Okay. There you go. Lift up. There you go. Strong dog. Very strong dog. Lift up, Jerry. Good job. Big fight. Pet him and tell him, très bien, Anivan, très bien. Let him know he's done a good job. Reinforce the command. Good handling technique is what teaches your dog and advances quickly. Helps him to advance quickly. Okay. He took off slowly, so that tells you as a handler you must start closer. Okay. You're working towards an explosive send away. So if your dog is not doing it well at the distance you started, get closer, make it easier for him. Get a little bit closer, and he'll do it a lot better now. Watch. Let's do it, Sherry. Closer. The motivation has to be quick. Pick it up. Big fight. Très bien, on y va. Très bien.
Très bien.
Voilà. Okay. Voilà. Very good. Okay, this is the first time this dog does this exercise. He's doing very well for the first time. He'll get better. Sherry, tell him.
Jagger out.
Bring it closer. Okay, one minute. Grab the line. Big problem. This puppy's never bitten a tuck before. Can't expect him to do it here. So let's go with what she knows. Get her a little closer. This time you're gonna let her go. Arriba! Arriba! Listen. Okay. Now, let's make pretend we're not in a ring field. You have some hot dogs? This dog's gonna go work better with food. When you start off with food, okay? Bring her close, right here. Arriba! Arriba! Back up, back up. Give her the dog. Yeah, give her a hot dog. Back up. C'est bien, Arriba, voila. This dog's motivated for this exercise is food. Okay, right there, that's good. Okay, you're gonna do it. Shut up. Stop. Run with him. Arriba, back up. Stop, back up. Arriba, make her eat. Let her finish her food. Let her eat it all. Now, recall. Have your handful of hot dogs. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. Very good. You guys got that? Okay, that's how we start the send away. John, I wanted to try with the tug.
She loves the tug.
The tug or the...
She likes the tug. She can play with the tug.
I'll hold the dog.
What? Annabelle?
Annabelle.
Annabelle. Annabelle.
Annabelle.
Annabelle. Shh.
Run with it.
Annabelle. Annabelle.
With recall.
Up there.
All right. Dog's teeth. Okay, we're gonna use food also with her. We're gonna make pretend we're not on a ring field. We're doing this away.
She's got you to her.
Okay? He's gonna motivate the dog by giving him a little food, letting him know what's at the end of the tunnel. Okay, now back up and see. Gonna make her want it. Take off.
Annabelle. Annabelle.
Run with her, John. Run with her. Annabelle. Show her the food.
Annabelle. Annabelle.
Let her eat it all. Only put 2 or 3 pieces. Yeah. Try out.
Coyote, up here.
Back up. A little bit. Wait for her.
Buono, yeah.
Stop. C'est bon, voilà. Très bien.
Buono, yeah.
Very good.
One more time, let's see.
Yeah. That was her first time with food. She didn't know what was waiting for her. She'll have an idea. The dog will get more intense and will work a lot harder once you've done it a few times.
Send away and recall, right?
Send away. You have a recall though.
No, because you're incorporating that, aren't you?
Hannibal.
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 Don't wait for her to get back. Hannibal. 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 Come on, Hannibal. 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 Voilà. Hannibal. Hannibal.
Coyote. Buono.
Okay.
Buono, yeah.
What made you put that one out of the... let's try it with Mayo.
Maestro!
Miles a monger with that food.
Tell me.
You got more hot dogs?
Yeah.
Okay. She'll do this. Easy, look at her. She's already waggling her tail. She knows what's up. Food. It's the same thing.
And then, yeah, oh, I certainly do. It's like
We're going to stick hot dogs in the decoy soup.
and you expect it instead of come. Come would be the face, the heel would finish, right? I asked Gus about that one.
Beautiful. Way to go. Good handling. Beautiful handling. One more time. Okay, when you give the command, don't be so quiet. Say, Hannibal. And then, voila, Hannibal. Reinforce that she did really good. If she doesn't do good, don't tell her she did good.
This one especially, I can count.
Au pied!
Beautiful. The only thing is, don't whisper Hannibal.
And I almost fell doing it.
This is the job.
I have a question. I was asking John. On the recall, when you said
We'll get to that.
on OPA,
We haven't done the recall yet. We'll get to it. Like, we should have done it first.
He's wondering
My
why
mistake.
we're giving the dog the heel command.
Instead of a come
because when you
That's a
recall, the
recall
dog will
command.
sit in front of you.
Okay, T-Rex. Gus tip with T-Rex. With T-Rex, we're going to use the sack. The food works wonderfully for these dogs, especially when they've been here all day without eating. T-Rex, attack. Send them. Hannibal. Recall. Whistle. Recalls with him? No. Okay. It's very important that you don't start this before doing the recalls. She has the recalls. That's why you start the recalls at 8 weeks. This dog hasn't done recalls. She's got recalls. He's got recalls. Everybody here's got recalls. He's got recalls. Everybody. This is done after you start the recalls. The recalls start at 8 weeks when you start doing crate bite. Okay, let's start off with the recalls. I got it. Alrighty. You give the dog food, same principle, motivate the dog.
Au pied!
That dog is taking off with drive to go to a recall. Okay, you don't need to say OPA anymore because your dog understands it.
The whistle.
Yeah. At the very beginning, when you're starting off, you let the dog know OPA, OPA. You run off. When you stop, hit the whistle. When the dog is halfway to you, you start backing up. You start backing up. As soon as the dog gets to you, you stop and you give him the food. You feed the dog. One more time. Ray, you're next. Come on, buddy. You're gonna need the tug. You got that thing, bro. That's no need for that thing to be so high. Lower it all the way down. Ready, Ray? Ready? That's what it looks like. Big fight, Ray. It's rewarded for big fight. Very good. Now, let me borrow the tug, Ray. Give him his tug.
Halt! Peppy! Peppy!
Okay, when your dog is already trained on the recall, your command is going to be here. This is a hand signal for the dog. Okay, if you got a string, you put your hand in here. You got one of those dogs that comes and just bites anything, your hand, your forearm, your tug, whatever. You let him bite it, and then you go like that. You pull him in, you work him, you use your string. Okay? You don't have your tug here one time, the tug over here, the next time the tug over here, next time the tug over here, next time. You have it here every time. And nice and low so he doesn't have to jump to get it. Right here. So you can come running and just bust into it. Okay? That way, if the dog doesn't hear the whistle, but he looks back and he sees you standing like this, he knows. It's a command. This means recall. Okay? It's a signal. It's just like whatever you teach the dog. Okay? Okay. Very good. Let's teach a dog that's never done it before. Bring T-Rex out. Okay, you're going to use food. You got food?
I got hot dog.
At the beginning, you teach this with hot dogs.
Does he have some?
No, he doesn't have any.
No, go ahead. I got a whole bunch. I'm gonna go get his. Take it. I got a whole bunch more.
You hold them, though. You know how to do it already? Take it. Back up like around 10 yards. Ready? Wait until the camera.
I'm ready.
Ready? Okay. Very good. Very good, Gus. Very good.
Guys with the stand.
Now re-emphasize Previano BA voila. Very good. One more time. Okay, go. Okay, when you do this, keep your hands out in front. Don't put your hands back here. Don't back up like this, like that. Keep keep your hands out in front of you. Give the dog a target. Let him look at what he's going for. Make it easy for the dog. Good technique is to back up. Here, let me do it. Get the rest. Sorry, I don't need it. What else I got the rest? Yeah, that's what I was here. T-Rex. Au pied, Pepe. Au pied, voilà. C'est bien. Voilà. Ah, c'est bien, au pied. Voilà, Pepe. C'est bien. Good. Okay, the dog is imprinting on recall with the whistle. Okay? Johnny. What are we going to use? Purple.
How come you're not doing it?
Hot dog? Want to hold this for her? Good job. That's the way you do it. That's the good handling technique. Beautiful handling technique. Very good, John. You saw how well the dog took off. Everything went perfect because of the handler. The handler is what makes the technique straight. Very good, very good. This dog's gonna have an awesome recall. Okay. This dog has a very good recall. Actually, right about now, 5:30. That's what I told you.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so you don't need opiates.
Here, they have to like come around and start walking. Yeah.
But if they put it in front of you, they'll stay in front of you. Isn't it better to
No,
stay
it's just, they only use that command for, like if it's just like a compound or something. Yeah, no.
Very good. Hey, did we do that already? Yeah. No, they're using that for a significant You are? Oh, okay. You're going to get out of here? Oh. No, I only use one. I need another for a boy. How about your sister? Okay, motivate. Very good, very good.
He'd rather bite than eat, huh?
Okay, excellent, Marcus. Who is left?
No, Barracuda is not here.
Now he's going to get her.
He is? I think he's going to the bathroom.
Yo, what are you doing?
He is getting there.
Shut it off.
For a long time
Yeah, just turn it off for now.
Got it on my phone.
Well, someone got a whistle.
Oh, yeah.
Just go down there and
You're
whistle
going to
for
do
me.
verbal. You're going to do verbal.
Okay.
Here.
You're
Or you
going
want,
to verbal.
No, he won't use it.
you want me to go whistle?
No, verbal.
Okay.
Put it.
Short.
Up here.
Start off short.
Up here. Up here. Up here. Up here. Say, wow.
Get that good French blood.
They're all good in that.
definitely all will be now because
Yeah.
it's getting more rare.
It's a good litter.
Tranquille. Au pied. Voilà. Au pied. Voilà. Ah.
And the mama Layla's retrieving now.
She likes this. She gets to eat all the time. Saying this is good training. Ready? Motivate. Let's go.
Au pied.
No, one time, Joe. Barracuda OPA. Let's do it again. Barracuda OPA. That's all. Throw the food back up and say, ready? Back up.
Au pied.
No.
Barracuda.
Dog's name. No, start again, Joe.
Who's nickname?
Barracuda OPA. The dog's name and then the command. That's what the rules of things. Ready?
Tranquille. Au pied. Ah.
All right. Let's get to the basket. Let pop. No, you let him go on his own first. If he doesn't do it on his own, then you come and you make him do it. After he does it, sit down, let pop. Okay? Just lift him with one arm. Okay, let me do this. Ready? Okay, emptying the basket with the puppy. Remember, we're just talking about what to do with a puppy that's 4.5 months. 4 months to 4.5 months is when you start doing this. First goal is to teach the dog to stand on top. This is the toolbox that we're going to use to teach to have the front 2 legs inside the basket eventually. So what we're going to do is we're going to teach the dog to go to the basket on command, stand on it, and then you're going to motivate your dog. You're going to reward them for doing it by feeding them. Now, there's a lot of trainers in France that when they're beginning this with a young pup, they'll take out a brush and they'll brush your dog while they're on the basket instead of feeding them. Relax the dog. This is very therapeutic, release the stress. They love getting brushed. So they use that as a technique to reward the dog. You can do this too, but only when the dog is between 4 to 4.5 months when you do this. You only spend 2 to 3, 4 weeks at the most doing this. Okay? Sherry?
Okay. The pot.
Point. Check the pot. Bring it back. Let me help. Okay, cover dog.
The pot.
The pot. Check it. The pot. Okay, back him up. Back him up.
Come on.
Make him go to the basket. Jack, the pot. Jack. Jack. C'est bien le pot. Voilà, Jagger. Voilà, voilà. Jagger, open. You're too far. Close. Tell him the pot.
The pot.
Le pot. Let's go. Motivate the dog. Let him eat. Stand him.
The pot.
Yeah.
Jagger OPA, c'est bien le pas.
Jagger, okay.
He's full.
He doesn't like hot dogs.
He's
He
full.
rather bite.
He's getting hot dogs all day. He's all hot dogged out. Okay, right here. Jagger. Voila, voila.
The pot.
Lion, the pot. Let's go. Let's handle how fast and hard. Voila. Feed him.
Okay.
Great. Now, when you do this, it's motivate the dog, put the food. You got the dog back here. Jagger le pas. You bring him, make him eat, and let's stand him up. Hey, voila, c'est bien. Quick, 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 quick. Okay? You got to speak. If you're like Jagger le pas, your dog's going to be...
Jagger the pot.
You got to get him pumped.
You're gonna be a...
One more time. I'll hold him. I'll hold him. You do the hands. So pump him up now. I know you're good at this.
The pot.
Voila, le pas. Beautiful. OPA. Okay, one more time. No food this time. Jagger, le pot. Voila, Jagger. C'est bon. Voila. Nice harness.
Now relaxing.
Très bien. Au pied. Voilà. Like now, you owe me $25.
Mom, bring me a chair.
Okay.
Chair.
You're done.
It's your turn, baby.
That's the most action I've seen out of him. Is this what you want?
Okay, we're not gonna groom Pepe because you know he's drug.
What?
A little drug. He's got a bite. Okay, buddy. Real close. Pepe le pas. Let's see how you done.
The pot?
Great. Voila. Give him a little bit. Okay, good. Bring him back. Pepe OPA.
The OPA?
Very good, very good. Okay, Ray, very good, Ray. Ray's already at a level where he's already has his dog doing the basket, beginning stages. So Ray's already practicing unstraddling the dog, standing on the opposite side, telling him to OPA, come to the opposite side, so he can pick up the basket without the dog being in it. He's at a more advanced level. Okay? Great, like about a meter away. Tell your dog to go up.
Yeah.
And then feed him as soon as he gets
a meter?
on. Yeah, there's a meter.
Pepe le pot?
Voila. Very good.
OPA?
Very good technique. Very good. Excellent. So basically,
What do you say he did?
what happened?
That one.
No,
Like Benny Hill?
so basically, before the dog starts teething, this is all you work on. This technique on the basket. Okay, how to work the basket is in another seminar. Okay, that you get into that after the dog finishes teething. Okay, let's work on the out and the recall right here. Beautiful. I'm gonna get platoon. Teach your dog how to out. You're gonna use one very simple technique. Okay, the philosophy that I'm going to give up the bite for a reward. Remember, this is a very tricky situation. A lot of people have a big problem teaching the dog to out, especially strong dogs that want to fight. So you have to start real early. Okay, at what age did I put on the paper that you start training the outing technique at 4 months? The outing technique? It's that one, the one that's wrinkled on top. Oh no, it's the other one.
Out and recall 4 months.
Right, at 4 months, you better, and a strong dog, you better get to this quickly. What you do is, you teach the dog, I'm going to trade one bite for another. Every time he hears the out command. Okay? If you use verbal, you teaching him verbally. If you use whistle, teaching him whistle. Now, in ring sport, you must teach both. Because in the training later on, the out command is the dog's name. So you must teach the name of the dog as an out command, and you must teach the whistle as the out for the recall. So you must teach both. Imprint first the out with the dog's name, and then you imprint the whistle. Now at the beginning, you're going to have a problem. The problem is that how are you going to get them to out the tug? Very simple. With food. Very simple proposition. He already knows what the deal is. He wants to work, okay? So, watch. Platoon attack. C'est bon, bébé. Voila. Vite, bien. C'est bon. Platoon. Voila, platoon. Voila. Voila, toon. Voila, toon. Attack. Attack, bébé. Platoon. We have an out. Okay? This out is taught with technique. It's easier for him to understand. There's no superstition here. No throwing of a throw chain. No need for a Coke can full of rocks. Okay? Platoon. If the puppy has a problem biting the tug, you start him off like if it was puppy prey biting. Something he can relate to, something that you're returning to the dog's foundation. Okay? Platoon attack. Attack, attack. Voila, Pepe. Sit down. Voila. That's the bite. Attack. Hey. You pump him up, make sure he's got a good full mouth bite. Voila, Pepe. Platoon. Very good. We got an out going. Okay? Platoon. We got an out going. We just imprinted the out verbally for the guards and the out for the recall with the whistle. And it helps to have a very hungry dog too. Full mouth bite. Always work the dog on the tug with a full correct bite. Okay. We're at the point where this young dog understands the out with the food. Hey, if I stop biting when I'm told to stop biting, when I'm given the command, I'm going to get a reward. I'm going to be fed. Okay? Now, eventually you're not going to use food. You're not going to use food to get him to out. Okay? So what are you going to use? You're going to use another bite.
Okay, Kuda.
Okay?
Okay.
You're going to use another bite to reinforce, to motivate him to leave the bite that he's on the decoy and to come back to the handler and get another big bite. That's the technique you want to use. You want to reward the dog with his most favorite reward, which is biting. Remember what we talked about in foundation training? You use it, the motivator is not the tug. The motivator is the dog's will to bite. That's his reward. So you're rewarding the dog with another bite. But it's very important that when he comes to the handler that he gets a bigger fight than in the decoy. If the handler doesn't use good technique and give a big fight, he's going to enjoy the decoy's fight more than yours, and he's not going to be so motivated to come back to your fight. The tug doesn't take care of business. It's the handling of the tug that takes care of business in the dog's mind. Okay? So this is how it should look. Wait. Platoon! You make it look like a face attack. Platoon! Platoon! You're teaching the dog proper positioning. Platoon! 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 Très bien, bébé. C'est bon. C'est bon. Big fight. Pray carry. C'est bon. Technique. It's all technique, guys. Très bien. More motivation. Là. C'est bon. Opié. What's this? You're imprinting a pray carry. One technique leads to another. You're working with technique all through your training. C'est bon. Platoon! Okay? Now, it's going to take a while to get to the stage. This is one technique you must work all the way through teething. It helps you to develop the dog's, maintain the dog's hardness of mouth while he's teething. It's not overpowering by working, but it's good for the dog to bite the tug while he's teething because it's healthy for his teeth. You know, the teeth are itching in there, they're moving around, they want to use their mouth. And you won't lose the hardness of bite that you want to preserve so dearly when the dog is teething. Okay? Now, once you have won a clean out, every time you give the command, okay, you got to work. This is outing. Remember, when you use verbally for the guards, so your outing for the guards is excellent. Your dog's doing really good. Then you go to the next technique. Okay? The next technique, I'm going to need another handler. Ray, you want to handle with me? Have somebody hold your dog. You know what we're going to do, right? Whistle. How do we call that? Okay. What we're going to do here is we're going to start the imprinting of the out and the recall. We already imprinted the out. The out is one. You have won a good out on your dog verbally and on the whistle. Okay? Also, one thing that I didn't do is with the two tugs, the whistle. Hit the whistle from one tug to the other. You must work that too. Now, after you get to the point where you've won a good out, your dog understands clearly what out means. He doesn't have to do protection to learn these out. When this dog steps on a protection field, he knows what an out is.
You want me to take her away? Over there?
Yeah, put it from somewhere. Okay. Okay. Okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to teach the dog that he's biting and he must come back when you call him back. This teaches the dog clearly what it means. There's no confusion. He doesn't have to see a decoy and protection work to learn this. You teach the dog the out and the recall before he does protection work. Okay? The tug is going to be handled by the handler as if it's a decoy biting. Okay? Watch the technique. Okay, Ray. Show him the tug. face attack. He's doing a face attack downfield. That's his handler down there. Big fight. Fix the bite, Grace. Fix the bite. Work it. Fix the bite. Hey! Platoon! Voilà. C'est bien. Right, stay down there. You don't have to come towards me. Don't do it if you don't. The dog is fighting. He's doing a face attack. He's doing a fleeing attack. The handler calls him. Platoon! C'est bon, Pépé. Voilà. Très, très bien.
Hey, hey. It's okay. Hey, hey.
Oui.
Take it easy. Put that in your
Platoon. Okay.
It is a barracuda.
Any questions? Any questions, Kevin? Do you like the technique? Is it simple?
Hopefully simple.
You see, the good technique is a simple technique. If it's simple, he'll learn it easy. If it's not complex, the dog will match quickly.
The out is going to be the whistle and the dog's name.
No, when he's guarding, it's the dog's name. When he's recalling, it's the whistle. Okay? You can use the verbal. You can say, platoon, out, OPA. You don't have to use the whistle if you don't want. People that use the whistle have to practice the whistle as the recall. So that's when you use it. Okay? Now we're going to do it with other dogs. Let's use that. You and I, big fight.
Camera's getting wet.
Okay. Done.
Oh, the camera.
Those are ones like fence and stuff.
C'est bon.
The same as the bog bike.
Bien. C'est bon. If the dog is not outing on the first whistle, this is what you do. It's the proper technique. C'est bon. C'est bon. You run at him and you whistle. Fight, big fight. Let's go. Voilà, voilà. Attaque. C'est bon. Attaque, attaque. Daniel. Run hard.
Obsessive compulsive behavior. Sit down, dear. No, you're getting me dirty. There'll be no getting super master dirty. There'll be no slopping over me.
Your dog's tired. Put him up. He can't go away.
Plus, you guys feed him what, once a week or something?
What?
You feed him once a week or something?
Nah, only if they're good. Otherwise.
Okay, is there any questions to the technique for imprinting the out and recall?
Yeah.
Okay.
From a distance that, let's say, the way Peppy does. You know,
Okay.
we have good distance.
Uh-huh.
You're here, you're there.
Alright, so no slowing.
Let's say I give it a whistle, does an out. Do the running. I'm gonna run fast. Do you whistle again? Do you run to the dog, give a whistle again,
Yes,
and that's it.
that's it.
No, don't. Peppy, just
No,
whistle.
no, because it's an out and recall. You don't use the dog's name. It's out and recall, it's a whistle. It's a good question. That happens a lot. If you see that the dog's not outing, back up a step. Go back to whistle with one tug to the other. When the dog masters that technique, then you go to this one. And you always, the distance question, very good. Start off at a short distance. You start off like maybe 2 yards away, 2 or 3 meters away. Boom, boom, boom. You out, recall, big fight, out, recall, real close. Very easy for the dog to see the tug out of the corner of his eye. If anything happens, the dog wants to stay in the fight. Strong biting dogs want to stay in the fight a lot. It's hard for them to learn this. All you do is, if he doesn't come back on the very first command, you don't give him a second chance to stay on there, because you're developing a bad habit. You're letting it get out of hand before it even starts. You got to have an eye for bad habits. If the dog is developing a bad habit, you correct it right away with good handling technique. Okay? Good handling technique is very important as soon as the dog disobeys you. So, when you charge the dog, you come in really hard, and then right next to his ear, the whistle. Because what that does is, it teaches the dog that if you don't do as I ask you to do it, I'm going to come get you and make you do it. So at a young age, the dog learns to obey you, or else you're going to come make him do it. And in the back of his mind, every time you give him an out command, he knows. Because at a young age, you're imprinting, if I do not do what my master asked me to do, he's going to come get me. You're establishing a consistency there in the training that is going to translate later on into sharpness. Okay? And when you put the tug in there, don't put it behind his head. The technique is, here's his head, you put it here, so that he can see it out of the corner of his eye. If the dog cannot see it out of the corner of his eye, it's not a good technique. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
That's like the second phase of it. The first phase is with the hot dogs and the tug. Then it goes to tug to tug.
Exactly. What the hot dogs does is it teaches him to out the initial bite. You first have to teach the dog to out the initial bite. Okay, so what that does is it gives you a chance to let him understand that joy means out, and then the reward. First, she'll out for the food. That's how the dog's mind's going to work. After she outs for the food, the light bulb's going to go off and say, every time he says my name, I have to out. It'll come secondly, but that's how you teach it. Once you win the out, the initial out, then you go to the 2 bites. So what you're doing there is you're imprinting that one bite is going to lead to another bite. Another bite, one bite is going to lead to the other. You're never going to lose your bite, so it's okay to leave. Because the reason why dogs don't out and come back is because they don't want to give up the good fight that they're in. It's like, screw you, I don't want to come back. Excuse the French.
Do they do the same thing in Shih Tzu? They try that technique or they don't even have
No,
it?
I haven't seen anybody do this technique.
Beautiful. It's a
I
good
thought of it myself,
beautiful.
putting on other techniques together with other dogs that I've trained, and it works real good for me. So I figure, hey, it makes a lot of sense. So it's a good technique. It makes a lot of sense, and those dogs learn. All my dogs have an out and a recall before they do protection. Anybody that trains with me knows that, because all their dogs do it. And it's a system that I have. You start a dog with a foundation that leads to knowledge for the next step down the road. Then you work that technique there, and it's going to be another thing incorporated into that technique that's going to lead to something that's going to help you on the next one. When you win the next technique, you're implementing another one that's going to lead you to make it easier for the next step. One thing is helping the next one before you get there. You're not making it hard for you ever if you have a good system on the training. Any other questions?
There was one out in the field that I'm not clear on. When you call the recall, why would it be come instead of OPR? Because OPR means to heel about my side. When a dog comes...
Forget about what it means. The dog doesn't know the language.
Okay.
It's a command.
Just a command.
OPA means come. Okay? And it means heel. It means two things. Okay? It can mean escort when you're training the escorts. The decoy tells the dog, OPA means escort. And it just means come. Healing or recall. 99.9% of the people in ring sport use OPA as a recall, even if it means heel. Anybody else? Okay, great. I'm happy to announce that this is the end of the seminar. We've covered everything you need to do from puppy to 4.5 months. We're done. Let's pass out a certificate. John, step on this side. I hope that everybody learned at least one thing. Okay? I want to give you guys a training certificate. This is no big deal. All it does is says that you participated in the seminar and you took in the knowledge that was given in the seminar. Okay? Which is, believe it or not, a lot of information that's going to help you later on down the road to be better trainers. Okay, so I want to hand this out to Kay for participating with Mayo. Thank you, Kay. It was a pleasure. The next one is for Sherry. Jagger, our awesome shepherd. Raymond Pagan and Peppy. Very much, Ray. Believe it or not, guys, Ray is the most dedicated guy in this club. He's having a hard time getting it all in. He's never done it before, but Ray loves this sport more than anybody on this field. I think even more than me. So that's what's going to make Ray the best one in the long run here. I have faith in Ray.
Thank you.
Okay, we have Joe Cosmano with Joy and Barracuda. Thank you, Joe. It's been a pleasure, my man. Joe's another guy that loves dog training, and he's going to do well. Shelly Griffith and Callie. Thank you. Kevin. How do you pronounce your last name? Laprade?
Laprade. He's provided the comic relief. We all need it.
Thank you very much for being here. And don't worry about your dog. Your dog is teething. And you have a good dog, a fine dog. Don't worry about it.
Dog.
Huh?
And a lazy dog.
No, he's teething. He's never been out training.
That video of the rollover bite, the I fell over bite.
Hey, in a couple of weeks when he's already finished teething and biting like an alligator, you're going to be happier. Okay, and Gus, dib. Which I got to finish filling out. For the cameraman, Mr. John Doughty.
That's a good one, John. Okay.
All right. John is a guy that's going to be one day a certified French ring decoy. He's got a lot of ability. He's got a lot of athleticism, and he's turning out to be an excellent training decoy, and I know he's going to be an excellent trial decoy too. You're doing a great job, John.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Oh, shit.
We definitely need I gotta go back home as soon as I can. I
see. Yes.
Are you gonna be home? Are you gonna be home? Let me just call you. I mean, just call you after my...
Tout ça. Assis.
Well, I'm gonna pour this. You know? I don't think it'll burn.
Tous nos pieds. Tout assis. Shit. Tout ça. Assis. Sur nos pieds. Sur assis. Comme shape. Tout ça. Assis. Assis. Debout. Couché. Debout. Assis. Couché. Assis.
No, not yet.
I was like, yes,
That's not good. That's not good. If they're all gone and that's the last one, it's because nobody wanted that one. Laurie, listen, why don't you put it on the side, give a deposit to it, and I'll go tomorrow afternoon with you. I have to go early. I have a 5 o'clock. So tomorrow afternoon, around like 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock. Okay, so we get all together tomorrow morning. Just
Yeah. That's tough. Put it in the shade. In the shade, I can.
Don't bring it on the field.
Yeah, put it right there in the shade.
He's gonna bring his dog off.
Yeah, he's got to bring him off.
He does?
Yeah. Can't drink water on the field.
The judge.
Oh, no, I'm just
only
saying.
if the judge allows him, because the judge asked
But
for it.
he's allowing them?
The judge asked
Oh,
for it.
yes.
Yeah, it's too hot for the dog.
You can ask any time for water. Even in wintertime.
The competitor can?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was the judge.
No, it's up to the competitor. Separated.
They don't want us to go more, like, be crazy.
They didn't want?
They do more until after.
With Mexico. Well, that was the way Michelle was out.
Yeah, Michelle was there.
We're like, no way. Get my dog a water. Flood.
Huh?
I thought you were going to go to the summer.
Yeah, but I couldn't. He did the same thing as us. Thursday, Friday, I couldn't miss work.
Why Saturday?
Yeah, well, I told him I'd go Saturday, but cut me a break on the price. He said, no, I got to pay $100. I said, no, I can't do that. Not for one day, you know?
Turno pie.
La cosa es que con tanto decoy, eso me hace falta los pesos. Pero si nadie se quiere ayudar, yeah. I mean, we're only 5 minutes apart from each other. That's right. Edit.
Came to the line, you elected not to start at that time. You already
Lost the
said,
point,
I'm
right?
started, I'm being judged. He went back, he did some funny stuff with his dog. He went, good boy, he petted his dog. Okay, here we go again. It's all illegal commands because he is being
Restarting.
judged.
He restarted.
All right. He came up to the line again, and the dog was off like it was at the beginning. And he, what do I do now? I guess I better start. Well, I think a smarter move would have been to come up to the line, lose that half a point for his dog being out of position, which he did anyway the second time.
Yeah.
So he lost 1.5 points rather than just a half a point.
Also, when I did my restarts, I should have just, because my
Take
dog...
the half a point. The dog is out of position.
Instead of restarting.
I thought it was more than that. I thought it was
Instead of
a
restarting.
point or 2 points.
No, it's a half a point.
Because I see a lot of that. People
Dog
just
is not in
restart.
start position.
And I'm wondering why they're doing that.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why.
That doesn't make sense. Because what I read from the rules, I said I would rather just take off from there.
Take it half a point.
Yeah, bro.
I'm almost like trying to ignore to bring the cheese out or somebody to grab it, but just keep starting on fire so I can't cheese. Okay.
Okay, you're right. I need to do that.
You see JR is the same way. Those look pretty good. They're almost done. I'm just getting your cheese. Don't need to get the cheese. Oh, I got we got that. Wait, that's it. compétition qui va pas, par exemple. Je vais vous téléphoner au courant de la fête de son avant, mais attendez pas d'avoir avant lundi soir.
And macaroni and cheese. I like it.
Okay, Tony, did you want to eat anything from it?
You want cheese on here?
Good one.
Get in touch with you to get a copy of this tape.
Tony and Jose. Okay, great. Thank you.
Which soda? Just want a hot dog? Okay, just a dollar. Okay, put the hot dog on.
Shake!
You want a hot dog too?
This is the way I have them.
You want a hot dog too?
To the deck!
Grab the buns, the hot dog buns, and the hamburger buns are in Johnny's van.
We're in the van.
Shake! Shake!
That's the south end. That's why we got the view.
To the deck!
Yeah, that's 22 allowed today. On the high jump, he chose 0.9. He had one refusal for -2 for a total of 8 of 12. Throw and retrieve, good, 4 of 4. Change of positions, dogs execute one position, -3 for 17 of 20. Healing on leash, one restart, -1. Dog hinders his walk, -0.5. Dog displaces himself, -0.5. And also, the dog was incorrect at the start position, -0.5 for 2.5 of 4. Healing off leash with muzzle, one bad start, out of position, -0.5, 7.5 of 8. Absence of conductor was good, 10 of 10. Face attack, one extra recall, -2 for 28 of 30. Fleeing attack, esquive, I think the dog actually esquived himself, -0.5. And 2 seconds slow to bite, -4. for 25.5 of 30. The attack of the revolver and guard, 1 second slow to out, -1 for 29 of 30. Defensive handler, good, 30 of 30. Food refusal, good, for 10 of 10, with a total score of 181.8, a very nice score.
Congratulations.